Eye-opener. First things first. So many people are overly concerned with the afterlife, and why shouldn't they be? Life kind of sucks these days. Too few people have savings. Too few people can afford a home. Too few people can even look after their health without going deep into debt. I get it. This life is rough and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Maybe the solution is to pray to whatever God or gods you believe in and hope that the next life is better. Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe too many of us are worried about the next life, as opposed to the one in which we are currently living. Maybe the meaning of life is to simply worship a higher being in this realm in hopes that they'll let us live rent-free in their home in the next realm. It actually seems silly to hope for the best after you're dead than to try to make things better before you shrug off this mortal coil. Why not do everything within your power to stop the terrible things happening to your fellow men, women, and children today? And worry about the afterlife in the afterlife? If you think about it, should your complicity be something upon which you are judged in the end? Not the only metric, but would you honestly want to go to a place where so many people ignored the terrible stuff done to the powerless and the meek? That place sounds awful. I wouldn't want to go to the same afterlife as those who allowed Hitler to do what he did. Same goes for any dictator who culled their people. Same goes for those who allowed Israel to commit its atrocities and those who covered up Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. And just think about it like this. There are fewer than 1,000 people in Washington, D.C. allowing war crimes to occur using American dollars. That includes the President, Congress, and the Supreme Court. And I get that each one of those mentioned here have thousands of people working for them collectively, but even so, that would still only be tens of thousands of people versus the remainder of the over 3 million people who live in the United States. That would be like a man going into a full auditorium with a sewing needle and stabbing everyone to death with that sewing needle. Imagine responding to the questions asked about that situation on Judgment Day. How would you respond to such a question? How would you respond to any similar questions that ask whether you held the wicked and the guilty accountable for their crimes? Or did you stand by and watch as others got hurt? Did you watch the world burn? Or did you stand up? I suspect that one answer gets you into heaven and the other sends you down to burn in hell. The time to act is now. The place is in this reality. If you like the videos here and would like to see more, let your friends and family know about this website called Mike's Sons Entertainment on YouTube. There are plenty of blogs, news, and websites reporting and complaining about our leaders and their failures. How many, however, are offering or even pointing to any solutions? The book Solutions. Enough Complaining, Let's Fix America by Chris Osman does, and it can be found on Amazon or at www.mikesonsentertainment.com. To find out other ways you're being screwed by your current leaders, check out the posts on this blog daily. Learn about the biggest and worst issues that America and its people face today. You can also check into this blog daily to hear about those issues that America and its people will face in the near and distant future. If, however, you would like to discover possible solutions to either mitigate the worst impacts of these issues or solutions to avoid them altogether, keep listening. The problems we face are not as complicated as so many leaders and news reports claim. They are man-made and are only claimed as complicated so those who are responsible can maintain control. For example, there is a persistent argument that moving government is like turning a cruise ship around. It is supposedly a long process that can only be achieved incrementally. While this may be true for laws and policies that benefit the majority of Americans, it does not seem to be so for that smallest of American minorities. When one examines the policies and laws that benefit that minority known as the elite or the rich, the speed at which those laws are passed is exponentially faster. While most of us sit on the deck chairs waiting for the Titanic to avoid the myriad of icebergs of which we seem to continually run afoul, the elite ride comfortably in speedboats. If, according to the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal, why do the rich live quite different lives than the rest of us? Where is our speedboat? In 2018, Chris Osman wrote a book highlighting the problems humanity would face if more power, wealth, and control were funneled to a small group of individuals, groups, or organizations. In that book, Mr. Osman provides solutions, offered up from himself and others, to the inevitable problems we would all face. In it, he also provided a means for the public to analyze, compare, and contrast the words and deeds of those we've chosen to follow against our real-world experiences. To this end, Mr. Osman provides the means for readers to disseminate information as provided by their news sources of choice, their elected officials, and any other authority they choose to follow. The book, titled Solutions, Enough Complaining, Let's Fix America, offers a means to hold leaders up, not just to a higher standard than is currently accepted, but to one that will improve lives. Fix this life first. Click the link below and get your copy of Solutions today.